dear chairperson, members of CTII, honored guests and friends, brothers and sisters, thank you for inviting me to deliver this keynote address. As Barry just spoke, I realized that I might have just got it totally wrong, but I will, I will give it a go, because I've been asked to reflect on the theme of Kindom, one city, one heart. And I thought during this week, I just thought about it, and whatever came up in my heart, I decided I wanted to share with you. So I would like to start, first of all, by reflecting on my own journey with CTII that started just over 2 years ago when we gathered together in the Groote Kerk to mourn the deaths of those who lost their lives during a racist terrorist attack and religious hate crime while they were meeting for prayer in a mosque in Christchurch. In my own heart, at that stage, I also felt the need and the urgency to gather together with fellow human brothers and sisters from different faiths to speak out against this atrocious act committed in the name of religion against people of faith, and to work together to live, demonstrate and promote justice, love and peace, which is at the core of the different faiths that is represented here at CTII. It is then that I also met you guys, new friends and colleagues through CTII, and ever since I have experienced and felt the kinship of fellow pilgrims seeking justice and working together for peace in our city and the world we live in. So that during this time, I was also meeting beautiful and amazing people and carrying each other's burdens in the process. I'm grateful and blessed to be on this journey with each of you, and I've been enriched and blessed by your presence and influence on my life and also my worldview. It's also during my own hardship and troubles that you have been supportive and shown me much love. I thank you also for your love, your kindness, and your generosity. So I thought if we were to start seeking places where kinship and loving hearts can be found in this beautiful city of ours, then we can just start by looking around us in this organization we call Cape Town Interfaith Initiative. With this in mind, I thought further about places where we can also find in public places in this beautiful city of ours, where we can find friendly and good, kind-hearted people in the everyday life in Cape Town. Now, I know all of us will probably say, yes, come to our place of worship and meet friendly and kind people there. And it might be, and it certainly should be so. But those that usually come to our churches, mosques, synagogues, and temples are mainly there because they are bound and brought together by the specific faith and creed as they meet there. So I was looking for places, public places, where we can come together with people across the different faiths, and also the boundaries that is set up by different faiths and religions in this world. So there's one place in this beautiful city of Cape Town where I think you can meet the friendliest people. And I wonder if you know where this could be. I have discovered recently, or for the past few years, that on the slopes of the Hurikwago, or the mountain of the sea, as it is called by the Khoi people, or Table Mountain as we know it today, which we can also call the heart of our city, as our city is in a certain sense built around it. It also carries the footprints of our ancestors. When you go for a walk on the many paths that lead to the top, you find a lot of smiles along the way, was my experience, and hopefully for you as well when you have walked on one of Table Mountain's many footpaths. These smiles are big smiles and little smiles, exhausted and tired smiles, fit smiles, hopeful smiles, sense of achievement smiles. That is my favorite one, if I can reach the top. And then also a lot of friendly small talk. I've been offered water and something to eat along the way. And I've shared my water with someone else. Why is it so on the mountain, I was wondering, why do we rush past each other during the day in the city, on the streets? Is it because when we go up the mountain, we have journeyed in the same way? Is it because we have faced the same challenge and the same struggle to get to the top? Is it because we give and receive while climbing together and passing one another on the journey? We give and receive advice. We share dangers. We encourage each other. It's only a short distance. You are almost at the top. Sometimes that's a little white lie, but it motivates us and gets us to continue further. We are informed about obstacles. You find people who are going up or down the mountain, they are resting. They are reflecting on life, on the nature around them. They are sharing, they are assisting, and they are pushing themselves to new limits. Also, have I experienced that when we get to the top of the mountain and we reflect, looking from above down at the city, when the skyscrapers look much smaller, when you're on top of the mountain, you get a better understanding of how small you are and how big God must be, how big this creation is. You also get to see the bigger picture and where you fit into this wonder of creation and life that we all share. This symbol of climbing the mountain or metaphor has also encouraged me to remember that we need to climb mountains together, literally. And thank you, Nick, for your initiative in that way, getting us to go on walks and praying together. And also figuratively, we need to rest and we need to reflect together on the gifts that we have received to share in this life and world. We are not only blessed by beautiful mountain ranges from Cape Town to the Great Karoo, but also in between these mountains, along the roads, in the small towns and the villages, we find the most beautiful and warm people who is made in God's image, the image of love. When we talk about climbing mountains, we are also reminded that we are cursed by other mountains that we are facing. We are facing mountains of inequality, mountains of prejudice, mountains of injustice, mountains of crime, mountains of corruption, and the mountain of ecological crisis. As an African city, we need to start climbing these mountains together in the African spirit of Ubuntu. It starts with us. It is us that need to understand the principles of Ubuntu in our faith tradition anew and to start to live it, demonstrating it to our communities and teaching it to our children. I am because you are. We have a hymn in our church that says, give us a fresh understanding of brotherly and sisterly love that is real. When we climb these mountains together, may we also tap into that fresh understanding of brotherly and sisterly love that is real. We have adopted to technology. Look, here we are doing an AGM online, everybody tuned in, and we've managed to implement and adjust it into our lives. Now, with the huge possibilities technology offers us, also aware of the dangers of the divisive use of social media, we need to find each other as brothers and sisters. The challenges is huge when you try to work for peace. And sure, you might upset a lot of people. Remember, when you work for peace, it is not in the interest of everyone. The machinery of war is a lucrative business. The underworld doesn't want peace. Terror and fear is the way by which they operate. But we must remain steadfast in the belief that love casts out fear. We need to work together for the common good of our creation and our people. We need to practice what it means and experiment with working together for peace in our communities. As President Nelson Mandela said in 1999, selfishness, corruption, a lack of community spirit, and neighborly service, these are the spiritual enemies of our efforts to build a new society in which we can all live together in decency. And he continues to say, it would be superfluous for me to elaborate on the role of faith communities in this task of moral reconstruction. You will know it much better than I do. What I can say is that the way in which the different churches and religions work together and reach out to each other will set an example to the rest of the country. We have the opportunity to set that example. We need therefore to continue to encourage and challenge more of our colleagues and our brothers and sisters in our different religious traditions to also start looking beyond their own faith circle and outside the fence of our own places of worship, and start asking ourselves and our congregants and the broader faith communities challenging questions like, why is it that we can fly halfway across the world and visit other faiths or other faith places of worship, but we can't visit the church, the mosque, the synagogue, or the temple on our doorstep and meet each other there? Why can people of different faiths make money together, but they can't make peace together? Why do we drive to go and eat at a culturally themed restaurant, but we cannot break bread at our own table with people from a different culture? How can we say we love the same city, but we struggle to love the city's diverse population? We live in this beautiful, diverse world, which we stand in awe of the glory of creation. We are stunned by confessing that God is so much bigger, so much gracious, loving that we can ever imagine or behold. God is ultimately good, but then when it comes to the practice of our faith, we sometimes try to get a grip on God, to fit in with our own understanding, and ultimately limit God and his love for the world. Justice, love, and peace is central to all our religions. With the recent death of the Swiss Catholic priest and theologian Hans Küng on 6 April 2021, I was drawn again to the Declaration of Global Ethic that was authored by Hans Küng and was adopted by the Parliament of World Religions. We declare, we are interdependent. Each of us depends on the well-being of the whole. And so we have respect for the community of living beings, for people, animals, and plants, and for the preservation of earth, the air, water, and soil. We take individual responsibility for all we do, all our decisions, actions, and failures to act have consequences. We must treat others as we wish to treat us, as we wish others to treat us. We make a commitment to respect life and dignity, individuality and diversity, so that every person is treated humanely, without exception. We must have patience and acceptance. We must be able to forgive, learning from the past, but never allowing ourselves to be enslaved by memories of hate. Opening our hearts to one another, we must sink our narrow differences for the cause of our world community, practicing a culture of solidarity and relatedness. We consider humankind our family. We must strive to be kind and generous. We must not live for ourselves alone, but should also serve others, never forgetting the children, the aged, the poor, the suffering, the disabled, the refugees, and the lonely. No person should ever be considered or treated as a second-class citizen, or be exploited in any way whatsoever. There should be equal partnership between men and women. We must not commit any kind of sexual immorality. We must put behind us all forms of domination or abuse. We must strive for a just social and economic order in which everyone has an equal chance to reach full potential as a human being. We must speak and act truthfully and with compassion, dealing fairly with all and avoiding prejudice and hatred. We must not steal. We must move beyond the dominance of greed for power, prestige, money, and consumption to make a just and peaceful world. Earth cannot be changed for the better unless the consciousness of individuals is changed first. We pledge to increase our awareness by disciplining our minds, by meditation, by prayer, or by positive thinking. Without risk and the readiness to sacrifice, there can be no fundamental change in our situation. Therefore, we commit ourselves to this global ethic, to understanding one another, and to socially beneficially, peace fostering, and nature-friendly ways of living. We invite all people, whether religious or not, to do the same. May God grant us therefore the wisdom, the courage, the strength, and the heart for this journey together in our city. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to the journey ahead, and take great courage and inspiration in knowing that you are my fellow pilgrims in the city of ours. Thank you.